Hello, English teachers! Are you ready to power up your English class? Giving feedback is a delicate process, and there are different approaches to doing it productively. Let's think about the ways teachers can approach error correction through feedback strategies. Direct feedback versus indirect feedback. First, decide what your learning objective is for the lesson. For example, if the lesson objective is in the accuracy of a grammar item or pronunciation, you should give direct and explicit feedback on these learning objectives. However, if the day's lesson focuses on meaning and communication, it is more productive to allow the flow of student interactions to take place naturally and address mistakes later in a review activity. Teacher correction versus peer correction versus self-correction. Next, think about who is going to correct the error. Depending on your strategies and decision, the teacher can tell the error and correct, or lead another student to say the correct form, or guide the student who made the error to self-correct. Let's see some examples and think about which strategy the teacher uses. First, if the teacher wants to directly tell a student what the language error is, the teacher might say, "You should say went," or "the correct form of the verb is went," or "you mean went." Another way of giving direct feedback is to ask class peers to provide the correct answer. For example, when the teacher asks, "Where did you go after class yesterday?" and the student answers, "I go home." Then, one way of giving direct feedback is, "Go" is not the past tense. Can anyone help us use the right past tense of the verb? Another student might answer with, "went." Then the teacher says, "That's correct. Thank you, Rosa." Finally, think about a situation that the teacher is guiding the student who made the error to self-correct. Again, let's say the teacher asks, "What did you do after finishing your homework yesterday?" Then a student answers, "I have dinner." The teacher may respond, "Let's make the verb form correct. Can you recall the grammar we focused on in our lesson today?" Do you notice that the student used the present tense instead of the past had? Here, instead of instantly correcting the form of the verb, the teacher generally reminds the student about the lesson or the grammar rule they learned. This gives the student a chance to locate the error. Types of indirect feedback: giving a pause, recast, and requesting clarification. Now, let's see some examples of indirect feedback. Giving a pause is a strategy that allows learners a chance to self-correct their errors. For example, the teacher asks, "Where are you going later?" And the student answers, "I am go to the supermarket." Then the teacher repeats the student's initial utterance and pauses right before the error. "I am," then the student may say, "Oh, I am going to the supermarket." Next, what kind of feedback strategy do you want to use if your goal is to boost communication and fluency in your English lesson? You can use indirect feedback. One strategy of indirect feedback is called recast. Recast means the teacher reproduces all parts of the student's utterance except for the error. The error should be produced in the correct form. For example, when the student says, "I have gone to the movie theater last night," then the teacher responds, "Oh, you went to the movie theater last night. So what did you see?" In this feedback, the teacher does not directly say that the student made an error. However, students can easily notice that the wrong form of the verb was produced when hearing the recasting or rephrasing with the corrected verb form of went. Finally, another indirect feedback strategy is requesting clarification. The teacher can use, "Pardon me," or "I don't understand," or ask questions like, "What do you mean by that?" or "Could you clarify?" When the teacher uses recast or clarification, learners can be corrected in their grammar, sentence structure, and pronunciation with less embarrassment or shame. These indirect comments signal to students that there was some kind of an error or something was not clear in their message. Teachers can use this feedback strategy when wanting students to gain more confidence and actively engage in self-correcting their language. Remember, your feedback during the lesson has a long-term impact on your students' language fluency and accuracy. Feedback should not cause too much stress or embarrassment, but feedback should also be clear and helpful. Strategic approaches in providing feedback will help your students and you build a more communicative classroom in English. Thanks for watching and learning. Now let's go do it.